And to continue to show just how cheap this movie is, we have the... Okay, there's a subplot with one of the guys, because, they need establishment somehow. One of them keeps sneaking out through the fence.
It's the same shot.
At night, yes. We see this shot 3 or 4 times.
I think it's about 4.
But it's the exact same shot. I mean, no, he's sneaking out multiple times, a week. Like, he sneaks out every night and goes somewhere, but we don't know where.
Yeah.
It's a little bit payoff later, but whatever. So, they, it's the exact same reuse shot every night he leaves.
Yep.
Because this movie is just that cheap. But then, because the gods must be smiling on us, we at least get a shot where Chris Brown breaks his leg while practicing. And he basically turns into the Ronald Reagan character from Canoe Rockney All-American. Most people think it's Newt, but when you watch the movie, they say Canute. So it's really weird.
Really? I always heard Newt Rockney when I was growing up, too.
Everybody in the movie says Canute, so I guess so. So yeah, and he's on crutches, and they basically go out there and get him, guys, or something. He doesn't really have a scene like that, but he might as well.
He doesn't even go to Paris with him for the final competition. He just kind of just bombs out, watching at his house.
Now, this movie's biggest sin, something I never thought I would say. This movie's biggest problem is it doesn't have the creativity of Step Up.
It utilizes the 3D, too.
When you watch the Step Up movies, the movies are kind of dumb, but when they do the dancing scenes, those scenes can be fucking insane. Like, it's insane what the fuck the dancing scenes in Step Up do.
Like the one in the museum, the one they did towards the end of the movie.
The one, like, in the fucking street.
Yes.
The fucking flash mobs from the second movie.
Those were awesome.
The third one did it well, too.
Yes.
I know the B-boy thing is like its own thing, but it just the dancing in this movie is just kind of the same shit, like all the time. Like there's really no I mean, I know they see it as an art, and it takes talent and everything, but there's no variety in it.
You look at America's crew and you watch their performances versus all the other countries. And every other country is flashy and got moves, and America's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and legs.
There's really, I know when you're doing it, I'm sure, but watching it and like being a spectator, compared to what we've seen in other movies, in other styles, there's really seems to be nothing to this.
No, not really.
So there's no real, you don't wait for the big competition. The big competition is just standing in your way at the end credits.
Yeah.
Getting to the end credits. Now, of course, this movie probably would have seemed absolutely unbearably unwatchable. Luckily for Battle of the Year, we watched it right after Baggage Claim, which probably helped it not seem as bad as it was. So Battle of the Year is probably dreadful, but because it was lucky enough to battle Baggage Claim, follow Baggage Claim, I can tell you it's just bad.
Yeah.
So.
And it's gone now, so no worries.
Yeah, it lasted about 2 weeks.
Yeah. A lot longer than I thought it would.
So, yeah. Do you have anything to add about Battle of the Year?
I hate Chris Brown.
Who doesn't?
Everyone should. The dancing sequences, that a little bit bland. I will say these dance movies do utilize 3D very well. This one, not as much. As a matter of fact, I dropped my glasses at one point and I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. I was like, I dropped my glasses. I don't care.
Well, another movie with nobody in it.
Yeah. That was actually quite a repeat performance. Pretty much every movie we watched, with the exception of a few, almost all of them had nobody in it. Probably because their run's already over.
Yeah, we're late.
Yeah, very late. But don't worry, we won't get this way again until the beginning of December. So
we're already running late, but the rest are.
Yeah, Gravity Run Run are the only movies this week that are not late. Well, let's finish this apparently now 3-part video.
Yeah. Alright, the last movie is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2.
Yeah.
Whose original title I liked much better. Its original title was Cloudy 2 Revenge of the Leftovers.
I like that better.
But no, they went uncreative because that's what you do with titles now. And it takes place literally right after the first one.
Yep. Like,
literally, Flint says 8 minutes later. Like he said, I've had 8 minutes to reflect on everything that just happened, and I've come to a conclusion. And it's basically, it's in a really big hurry, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like, it goes right into the new plot, which I couldn't even catch all of because it was moving so fast.
Mm.
Which made you wonder why they were in such a hurry, because why they made it a point to pick up right where the first one left off.
Mm.
Because shortly right after we go into that new plot, we skip 6 months.
Yeah.
But regardless, his hero, who is what was his name, Chester or something.
Yeah.
He's basically an animated version of Stanley Tucci. It's voiced by Will Forte.
Kind of looks a little bit like Adam Savage, too.
And he is, I don't even remember what his plan was. But the problem is that thing is obviously all the food has come down.
Yeah.
And, like, everything's a food wasteland. But now the food is starting to come to life and be different monsters.
Yes.
Like the Crocodile Supreme and the Mosquitoes and the Butter Frog, whatever that is, and the Leaking Boat. It makes a few rip
Cheese Spider.
Yeah. This one is really funny, though.
Yes.
Like, obviously you want to know how it compares to the first one. The first one's a much better movie.
Mm-hmm.
And has a much more flowing story. But this one is a lot funnier. The first one's hilarious, but this one's probably funnier.
Yeah.
But its story is more all over the place. But there's a lot of creativity, with, like, the different monsters they managed to come up with and stuff like that. And there's this funny gag with, there's something called the Celebration Cube. They make a couple of funny jokes about that. And then there's a payoff for it at the end.
Yeah.
There's this funny thing with Steve and a spark that won't go out. It's mostly in the background.
Which I have a feeling if we were watching this movie with actual people, we would have been the only ones laughing at this.
There's a really, the character of the cop, Earl Devereux, I think is his name. Not many people notice this because he did such a dead-on impression, more or less.
Yeah, it is.
In the first movie, he's voiced by Mr. T.
Yes.
But they couldn't get Mr. T to come back for this one, so they hired Terry Crews.
Yes.
And Terry Crews does an awesome Mr. T.
Yes.
Basically. There's this fucking hilarious scene where, now that everything's done, Earl's not a cop and he works at a bakery, and he's, like, wearing, like, an apron, and he doesn't have a beard anymore for some reason, and he's, like, handing out cupcakes. But then Flint comes in, and he says, we're going to go on another adventure, and this is the plan, and we have to stop this from happening. And to prepare, Earl rips off the apron and just kind of does this, and his beard just busts out of his face.
That is great.
And then there's a lot of small things, too. Like, it's one of those ones where, like, just little funny things are thrown in. James Caan's really funny, too, this Flint's dad.
Yes.
He was in the first one also. There was this thing with a cab that I couldn't catch. It was down in the bottom right-hand corner in one of the scenes. It had an advertisement on the top. It was like cats, but it said something else. I assumed it was a joke, but I couldn't tell.
It was, but I can't recall exactly. I know what you're talking about, but I can't recall exactly what it said.
And then there's the shit. I lost my place. We're on the last movie. I'm finally starting to lose it.
Cats.
Oh yes, the one joke. I don't know if this was a reference or not. I would think it would have to be, but I suppose it's arguable. Maybe it was just something that was in there that sounded like it. There's an ape voiced by, what's her name?
Kristen Shaw.
Yes. And her name is Barb. And she's like the henchman of Chester. So, there's this particular scene towards the end where he asks for something, and he says Barb, and then he asks for it.
Mm.
And he says it almost in the exact same fashion that Nicholson says Bob Gunn in Batman. I think that had to have been a reference.
Has to be.
But I suppose you can never be sure in these movies.
Oh, you mean like the random reference to the artist?
Yeah, and Escape from Planet
Escape
Earth.
from Planet Earth.
Yeah, there's, I have problems with some things, like the one character, I hate Andy Samberg.
Yeah, everyone should.
So I don't like that character. I'm one of the few people not watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was happy that we do get a reappearance of the running TV from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That was just a passing joke in the first one, and it was like the funniest thing I remembered. It was at the very beginning when the TV just runs out the door. Trouble is the ending gets kind of dumb, and it starts to get less funny towards the end. But I'm talking like the very end.
Yeah.
And there's this strawberry that follows them around, like the one that says, "You scared the jelly out of him," that Earl's talking about.
Mm.
That character is a little too cutesy. But, apart from that, mostly everything's fine. There's this song that in the middle where it's like, I can't remember exactly what the context of the song was, but it's one of those songs that basically funnily describes what's happening in the moment. Like, kind of like a DVDA song in the middle of a South Park episode or a Trey Parker Matt Stone movie.
I was thinking it was Matt Stone and Trey Parker for sure. Or the Patton Oswalt ripoff comedy spot too.
Yes, there's puns abound. Like that's most of the jokes. But if you're into that kind of thing. Lastly, I should talk about the 3D really fast.
Yeah.
I got a humorous story behind that.
Yeah, you do.
He could probably tell you more. Okay, listen. This probably sounds like the 3D is bad, but it's not. The 3D is not bad.
No.
Yeah, usually they say it's movies like this that the 3D really succeeds.
The animated movies usually are.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the movie, but the trouble is every now and not often at all, maybe a few times, it started to get blurry for me. So I finally turned to you and I'm thinking, is it kind of blurry to you? And you're like, basically you were saying no.
Yeah.
And you were wondering what the fuck I was talking about.
Pretty much.
So I started to wonder, maybe it was in the wrong format, but I think you would have noticed that.
I would have noticed that.
Maybe there was something, like smudging the glasses or something.
Yeah.
No. Okay. We are an hour into the movie. I don't know how this happened. I swear I don't know.
No, there's no way of knowing how this happened.
An hour into the movie, a full hour, I realize I'm missing a fucking lens.
It's great. He comes to that revelation too. Is really funny. I was like, I'm missing a lens, aren't I? I was like, yes.
It didn't happen halfway through. It didn't happen, during. The whole thing, I was missing a goddamn lens. I didn't notice for an hour. I just thought the little bit of blurriness I was seeing was, maybe something fucking up. Nope. So, that's pretty much that. Do you have anything to add?
I don't think Cloudy's gonna really do anything in the award season.
There's a lot of space open and animated. It could be thrown in there for filler.
I think there's some other stuff that'll probably get in before it will.
The Wind Rises is obviously going to win, so it doesn't really matter what's else there.
I don't know, Frozen could be really good too, but then again, after watching the trailer, you realize it looks like Tangled. You hate Tangled, which I bring up all the time. I think it's funny. I like the cast. It's weird because the villain in the movie is I was the one who called it out too. Yeah. I said it was Will Forte before I even saw it and everything. It's kind of like weird because I could tell his voice. I don't know. I guess it might have been the fact that
Saw the Nebraska trailer 3 times that day.
yes, that has to be it. Nebraska trailers everywhere. It's Anna Faris now. That's what it is now. After you used to that, I liked First Cloudy. I really like the First Cloudy. It's really funny. It's one of those movies that like I like a lot of animated movies. Obviously, some of them are not very good, and we've seen our share of those. But I mean, this Cloudy was great, and this one's it's like AJ said, it's even funnier than the last one. Now, I will say though, the story and everything, I kind of got it. Maybe not that much, but I kind of got a Meet the Robinsons vibe too. Slightly. I had to bring up a movie that no one saw, so.
But there's some people that still bring up the big head, little arms thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
The most sinister bowler hat of all time.
Yes! A bowler hat guy was actually at Unleash the Villains at Hollywood Studios a couple weeks ago. So you could actually meet him as a costume character, which I would love to have done. And I will do December 13th when there's going to be another Unleash the Villains. So,
we're done here.
We have got, we still got a lot of stuff coming this week. We've got, tomorrow we have our second Oscar prediction video for the month of September, technically. And we'll do one at the end of October for October, and then we'll do one in November and December, and then proceed through that. I'll tell you right now, I don't know about AJ's, my predictions have changed a lot.
Yeah, here and there.
Considering what I had, a lot of things have changed, a lot of things got dropped out, a lot of things got put in. I won't mention anything more than that. Verses this week's gonna be really fun. We are in October, which means we're gonna do horror themed verses for this entire month. So that's gonna be really entertaining. This week's verses, your cryptic comment is invasion. So we're gonna use that. I think that pretty much could tell you it could be anything with me saying invasion. It's kind of like headlock. You're not gonna get it if you're not paying attention. So next week we have Machete Kills and Captain Phillips.
Curse of Chucky.
And apparently AJ is going to be watching Curse of Chucky as well. Don't know when we're getting 12 Years a Slave. Hopefully before the month's
over.
It's
released the 18th, but it'll be sometime after that.
A lot of stuff still to come. A lot of verses still to come. So stay tuned on Pop for a lot of awesomeness and hopefully not 3-part videos for AJ's movie reviews. We will not film with the tablet again because it only films an hour and 6 minutes and 21 seconds. So these videos will all be an hour and 6 minutes and change. So
exactly.
It's an hour and 6 minutes, yeah.
And 21 seconds.
I think it's 21 seconds. I might be wrong, but don't forget everyone can't do math. But it's an hour and 6 minutes regardless. So.
Oh yeah, there's yeah. I guess that's it.
All right, so AJ, 3D for this week was successful overall.
Huh?
3D for this week was successful overall.
Well. It would have been in one case.
The 3D is really used very well in Gravity. It's like one of those submersive experiences, gets you like into the movie. It works really well with Cloudy. And Battle of the Year, like dance movies, the dancing sequences are fine. Everything else is not 3D, so you might as well wait till they start dancing and throw your glasses on. So.
Spy Kids thing.
Oh, exactly. We wish we had that little gimmick that said, "Put your glasses on now."
My judge telling us.
That would be awesome if we could. So, any parting words, AJ?
Nope.
All right.